let's have a look at some of the filtering in Eagle for your contacts. So to bring up your filter options, you click Add Filter here, and this gives you a big long list of the different filters that are available. So this top group up here are all filters based on the contact's data. You can also filter based on what properties the contact is looking for, what activity they've been involved in, what tasks you have about that contact, the campaign activity of a contact, and then what tenancies they're involved in, or if they're a purchaser of anything, if you've appraised their property, if they own properties, or if they're currently selling a property. So let's have a look at the first name filter. We click on this and it gives us a search box here, and it gives us a bunch of different options. So we've got contains, we've got does not contain, is not, starts with, ends with, length is unknown, and has any value. These are all different options that behave slightly differently. So if I search for contains HAR, it brings up all contacts where the first name has those 3 letters in it. Doesn't matter whereabouts in the name those letters are. Now if I change that to is, it's not going to return anything because it's looking for an exact match. So now if I search Harry, it's going to bring that up. Now let's say you want to send a communication to a bunch of your contacts. So you might want to send an SMS to people where you have their phone number, an email if you don't have their phone number, and to everyone else you want to send them a letter. So what we would do is we would create a filter on the phone number, and we're looking for people that have a mobile phone number. So we click done there. This brings us all of those contacts, so we can now do select all, we can send them an SMS. Now we want to find people that don't have a phone number, but they do have an email address. So we can do they have no phone number. And now we can create another filter here next to it, where the email has any value. Now this gives us people who have no mobile phone number, but they do have an email. We can then select all these and send this group an email. Now we want to send our letter, so we would change our email so that we don't want people without an email. And we also have a group here, letter prospecting, which we want to send to. So we can click on that, and that gives us this filter. Contact group is letter prospecting, but we're not finding any contacts. So what we need to do is change it from this filter group and this filter group, and we can swap that to an or. So now it's going to find all people that have no mobile phone number and their email is unknown, or they're part of the group letter prospecting. So we can now select all these and send our letter. So now let's clear these filters and let's do a preference search. It works similar to how it always has, but now you've got the option to search in a range. Okay, so it basically just creates all these filters for us. We can adjust these if we want. And now we've got all the contacts that are looking for a property like this. Another way to filter by what people are looking for is in the matching property filter. This gives us a drop-down box where we can select from a property. So we can select the property here, and then this will bring up all the contacts that are looking for a property like this one. So that might be an easier way to do a preference search. Now let's have a look at the campaign activity filters. So in here, we scroll down, we can filter on whether contacts have been part of a campaign but the email bounced, or it was undelivered, or whether they've opened an email, or whether they've unsubscribed, or whether they've clicked. So you might look to clean up your database and do a filter on all people where they've bounced. You can select which campaign they've bounced from, or if they have not bounced from a campaign. But let's just say, let's find all people that have bounced from this campaign. And we can tell that these email addresses need updating, so we can go ahead and do that. Another cool use for this sort of filters is you can see, let's say you've sold a house and you want to talk to all of the people on that street that also own a property on that street. So we can now filter and we go down to the ownership section, ownership, and this will find, if we select the street option here, this will find all people that own properties on this street. So we just sold a property on Victoria Street, and these are the owners that own a property on Victoria Street. So I can now go ahead and give them a call or send them a letter or whatever the case may be.